Forget epic battles and royal crowns. History is full of poop, literally. Kings had servants whose only job was wiping their royal butts. Romans pooped shoulder to shoulder like it was a group meeting. And astronauts? Yeah. Sometimes their poo just floated around the spaceship. These are the 20 weirdest poo moments in history. And some of them will make you gag, laugh, and never see history books the same way again. 1. In ancient Rome, public toilets weren't private at all. Imagine sitting on a long stone bench with 20 strangers right next to you. No walls, no doors. Everyone chatting while doing their business like it's a group meeting. And the worst part? They all shared one disgusting sponge on a stick to wipe. Basically, the world's least hygienic microphone. 2. King Henry VIII had a servant with the most bizarre job title ever. Groom of the stool. Sounds fancy, right? Wrong. This guy's job was literally to wipe the king's royal butt after every visit to the toilet. Strangely enough, it was considered an honorable role because you got access to Henry's secrets. Imagine putting professional butt wiper on your resume. 3. Castles might look majestic, but medieval toilets were nightmare fuel. They were called garderobes, basically holes in the wall that dropped straight into the moat. So while knights prepared for battle, the moat below filled up with, well, everything else. During summer, the smell was legendary, and if enemies tried to sneak in through the moat, let's just say they got a very stinky surprise. 4. French royalty had some extremely weird customs. In the 1500s, nobles would actually line up for the privilege of watching the king use the toilet. Yes, imagine clapping politely as King Louis handled his royal business. It wasn't seen as gross. It was a mark of high social status. Forget dinner parties or royal banquets. The hottest invitation in town was basically a front row seat to the king's poop show. 5. The Great Stink of 1858 was so awful it literally shut down the British government. That summer, London's River Thames overflowed with untreated sewage during a heat wave, turning the whole city into a massive toilet. The stench was so unbearable, politicians stuffed curtains with vinegar-soaked cloth just to breathe. Eventually, the smell forced Parliament to act, which led to London finally building a modern sewage system. A stink that changed history. 6. Samurai in Japan had a very unusual toilet hazard. Some toilets were built directly above rivers, which seemed convenient, until enemy ninjas figured it out. That's right, assassins would hide underneath toilets, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Imagine squatting peacefully, only to realize a ninja's been hiding in the shadows beneath you. Toilet breaks were already risky, but this turned them into actual life-or-death moments. 7. In the 1900s America, the first airplane bathroom disasters began. Early planes had no real toilets, so passengers were handed honey buckets or cardboard boxes with seats on top. Turbulence meant disaster. Imagine being 30,000 feet in the air when your bathroom tips over and everything starts rolling around the cabin. Flying was glamorous? Nope. Early passengers got turbulence, peanuts, and portable poop buckets. 8. Roman Emperor Vespasian once taxed urine. Public toilets collected waste, and the emperor realized, why not turn pee into profit? He actually made money by selling the ammonia-rich liquid to leather tanners. Citizens were horrified, but Vespasian shrugged and basically said, money doesn't stink. The phrase stuck in history, and believe it or not, taxing pee worked. He literally turned bathroom breaks into a government revenue stream. 9. Queen Elizabeth I had a portable throne toilet covered in red velvet. Yes, velvet. She traveled with it so she could relieve herself in style wherever she went. Servants carried this fancy contraption, and it wasn't exactly discreet. Imagine walking into a tent and seeing the queen sitting on what looks like a royal armchair, except it's not for resting. The ultimate travel accessory? A luxury velvet potty. 10. NASA's early space missions had one big problem. What to do with poop? Their solution? Poop bags taped to the astronaut's butt. In zero gravity, sometimes the bags didn't seal properly, and little brown blobs started floating around the cabin. Astronauts had to chase them with tissues like it was the world's worst video game. Space exploration was incredible, but the bathroom situation, absolutely horrifying. 11. In 1539, King Henry VIII gifted his ally Francis I of France the weirdest present ever, a portable toilet made of solid gold. Imagine carrying around a shiny golden throne everywhere you go. It wasn't just furniture, it was a literal status symbol for poop breaks. Nothing says royal friendship like handing your buddy a toilet worth more than most castles. Forget jewelry, this was the ultimate flex. 12. Vikings had a surprisingly simple toilet system, a wooden seat over a hole in the ground. But archaeologists found fossilized Viking poop so massive and intact, it's now displayed in a museum. Visitors actually line up to look at thousand-year-old poop like it's treasure. They even gave it a nickname, the Lloyd's Bank Turd. Who knew Vikings left behind sagas? And the world's most famous turd. 13. Louis XIV, the Sun King of France, loved being the center of attention so much that he even held meetings while pooping. Courtiers would stand in his room, bowing and taking notes while he sat on his royal toilet like nothing was weird. Imagine signing government decrees while making bathroom sounds. Truly, politics in Versailles were powered by perfume and poop breaks. 14. In the 19th century Japan, human waste was so valuable it was actually sold as fertilizer. Rich people's poop was considered premium because of their diet. Farmers would line up with buckets, paying cash for yesterday's leftovers. Imagine a world where neighbors knock on your door, not for sugar, but to ask, "Hey, can I buy your poop?" Recycling really went to the next level. 15. In medieval Europe, parties sometimes got so wild that guests peed and pooped right in the corners of the castle hall. Imagine dancing, drinking, then casually squatting in the corner while music played. The smell was unbearable, so nobles sprinkled rose petals and herbs to mask it. Forget disco balls. These medieval raves came with stinky party favors you definitely didn't want. 16. Napoleon Bonaparte was so impatient, he once barged into a bathroom to demand updates during battle planning. The poor general inside was sitting on the toilet, panicking, while Napoleon shouted orders through the door. Soldiers joked that the emperor's true war room was the bathroom. When you're short on time and short in height, you don't wait for bathroom breaks. You take command anywhere. 17. In ancient China, toilet paper was invented as early as the 6th century, but it was massive, like giant sheets the size of a towel. And by the 14th century, the emperor had his own specially perfumed rolls made just for him. Meanwhile, the average person used sticks, leaves, or their hands. Talk about royal privilege. While peasants scraped, the emperor wiped with perfumed silk. 18. During World War II, British soldiers in the desert came up with a sneaky trick. They left fake poop filled with explosives for German patrols. The enemy would try to kick it aside or inspect it, only to have it blow up in their face. Imagine being trained for war, only to be taken out by a poop-shaped bomb. The ultimate dirty trick. 19. In the 1800s, some British towns had night soil men whose job was collecting human waste from outhouses at night. These guys carried buckets of poop through the streets while everyone slept. It was dangerous, gross, and unbelievably smelly, but it kept cities from drowning in waste. Next time you hate your job, just remember, it could have been carrying poop buckets at midnight. 20. In 1969, the Apollo 10 astronauts had one of the funniest moments in space history. Mid-mission, a mysterious poop started floating across the cabin. None of the 3 astronauts admitted it was theirs. Chaos broke out as they tried to catch it with tissues before it hit the controls. Even NASA's most elite heroes couldn't escape the most human problem of all: rogue space poop. So yeah, history isn't just kings, castles, and wars. It's also full of poo. Which one of these poop moments blew your mind the most? Drop your answer in the comments. I'll pin the funniest one. And hey, if you thought this was wild, smash that subscribe button because trust me, the next video gets even messier.